Welcome back to Arts on Saturday. Pak Dola is probably the last great puppet master of Kelantan on the east coast of Malaysia. The Feast of the Shadow Spirits is the quintessential form of Malaysian shadow puppet plays and the most legendary of all Malay folk arts. But this art form was banned in 1990 by the new Islamic State government. Ironically, the Malay community couldn't apply for a performance permit to make this documentary. The shooting had to be done in a Chinese village, and only tourists can watch these performances in the state's cultural village, as they're considered un-Islamic. I hope you enjoy this rare glimpse of Malaysia's traditional arts heritage.
The Wayang Kulit, or shadow puppet play, is one of the most important of all Malay art forms. This form is found primarily in Kelantan, on the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. In the 70s, it thrived with almost 100 puppet masters. Today, that number has sadly declined. There are now less than a dozen left. Pak Dola Baju Merah is probably the last of the great puppet masters of Kelantan. The origins of the Wayang Kulit are diverse. Some believe that the form is over 500 years old, maybe more. The beginnings of it do, however, point to India. The Wayang Kulit could have come from southern Thailand into the northern Malay states during the Srivijaya Empire, or it could have been introduced from Hindu Java during or after the Majapahit period between 1293 and 1520. However, these explanations ignore the remote possibility of an earlier existence of Wayang Kulit in the Malay Peninsula. Despite its importance and antiquity, nothing is known of the genre's beginnings. There are several variations of the Malaysian Wayang Kulit, the most important and unique being the Wayang Kulit Siam. The trunk stories, or cerita pokok, come from the Hikayat Maharaja Wana, a Malay version of the great Hindu epic, the Ramayana. The Tok Dalang, or puppet master, is key to the Wayang Kulit. He is the storyteller who breathes life into his puppets and makes their stories come alive. Most puppeteers begin their training at an early age. Interest is usually sparked after intense pleasure is derived from watching a performance. This addiction is a form of angin, the Kelantanese concept of human temperament and desire. This was the case for Pak Dola Baju Merah. Abdullah bin Ibrahim was born in 1938 in Kampung Demit, Kuban Kerian, Kelantan. At the age of 10, he saw his first Wayang Kulit performance. He was transfixed.
Besok, Pak Dola pun ambil daun-daun, buat macam ni. Lepas tu setiap hari, Pak Dola berjalan, selalu ada daun di tangan. Orang pun cakap, ni Dola, ada semua daun kayu di tangan, nak main wayang kulit ke? Kata nak.
By the time he was 15, his training was complete. The ritual surrender of his teacher's puppets took place. They were placed in a boat on the river. The young Dola and his friends had to swim to retrieve the puppets. He has had them ever since. It was in 1957, the year of Malaysian independence, when he got his name. a palace official had been so impressed with the young Dolah's talents that he presented the troupe with gifts.
Dia bagi hadiah duit RM80, baju merah 12. Baju merah tu nombor 1, nombor 2, nombor 3 sampai 12. $4 dia buat 3 cekok.
His recognition grew after beating older, experienced puppet masters in competitions.
Dia kata, malam benang siapa wayang kulit berlawan? Kata orang benang budak baju merah. Oh, dolah tu kau? Ya. Oh, benang dia. Lama-lama lekat dolah baju merah.
And so the legend began. Pak Dolah Baju Merah was hailed as a child genius, a master. At Kampung Aoduri in Salo, Kasemas, Pak Dolah cuts down some bamboo to prepare for a rare ritual performance. The Berjamu ceremony is a ritual feast for the spirits of the puppet world. This is when a dalang pays respects to the shadow spirits that have given him the powers to be a puppet master. This ceremony is done only once or twice in the lifetime of a tok dalang. For Pak Dolah, it will also be an emotional release on many levels. Today, Pak Dolah is the most respected dalang in Kelantan, if not the whole country. His life has been the wayang, and performing it is not just a way of life. It is also his source of income. In 1990, everything changed. The new Kelantan state government led by PAS, a fundamentalist-led Islamic movement, banned the Wayang Kulit along with other folk forms such as Makyung, Manora and Main Pateri. 10 days after the ban, everything came to a halt.
Satu permainan wayang kulit ada japi serapa. Tidak dapat bermain lah, perkara tu haram dia cakap. Untuk seorang dalang kepentingan japi macam itulah, macam kita main. Oh, di sini banyak orang jahat, banyak pencuri. Bila seorang dalam permain, dia baca bismillah, minta Tuhan janganlah hasak deki kepada permainan aku, kerana aku nak tumpang cari makan. Jelah gitu je japi. Bukan macam mana.
In the light of the present restrictions, Pak Dolah can only perform freely at the local cultural center. This zone has immunity as it is under federal government jurisdiction. It is only for foreign tourists, as locals are not permitted to enter. However, Pak Dolah only performs here up to 3 times a year for a minimal fee.
RM250 kalau cabut tambah pin, bagi makan kepada wazir-wazir. Bagi duit itu pula bagi semua, dapatlah RM30 kepada satu malam. Tapi boleh kerana terpaksa pun, pasal kita ni kerja wayang kulit dia, main juga taat setia kepada pemerintah.
As he has not been able to perform regularly, the Berjamu ceremony is of added significance. The process of getting a license for the Berjamu has not been easy. Bureaucratic red tape has hampered well-meaning efforts. The Chinese community here has helped Pak Dolah. It is not impossible for the Chinese to apply for a license if it is considered a temple event. After months of negotiation, the permit is approved. Pak Dolah's only student is Chinese, surprising for an art form that is intrinsically Malay.
Budaya lain tak boleh, kalau bahasa budaya wayang kulit ni boleh agak-agak. Sebab saya rasa suka tu dalam cerita Wayang Kulit tu ada tempat yang berasa sedih di dalam hati.
Pada rasa kalau Pak Dolah mati dulu pun boleh jadi dia lah bawa kelakuan Pak Dolah. Kelakuan pemain Wayang Kulit.
Preparations for the berjamu are underway. The stage is symbolic of the universe in the cosmology of the Wayang Kulit. The central post is the axis mundi, which connects three realms: the sky, the earth, and the netherworld. The berjamu will be held over 3 nights, culminating at dawn on the 4th day. Each performance lasts approximately 3 hours.
Kalau kira permainan suka di Kelantan sebab penyokong banyak. Di Kelantan ni dia apa sahabat dia juga suka kacang dia. Ha. Macam tu di Kelantan.
There are 9 musicians in total. The primary instruments are the serunai, canang, geser, gong, and drums.
Untuk muzik panas sungguh. Lawas sungguh. Mana di Kelantan ni orang tak boleh potong untuk muzik. Dulu ada sapu-sapu model. Sapu model ni perjalanan perempuan kan. Ting 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 gitu. Dulu jalan perempuan cak ting 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 cak ting ting lama macam tu budak-budak kecil-kecil mengantuk. Pada dalam jalan jadi orang nampak macam tu orang tengok dia pom golek pun nampak gitu tak. Ding 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 oleh bangga.
The entrancing music has also been mentioned as a cause for the banning of Wayang Kulit.
Palu-palu kan. Atas bunyi-bunyi kan. Serunai, bom, gendang dia bunyi sedap. Dia Islam tak benar lah bunyi sedap-sedap. Tapi dia buat juga barang sedap. Walaupun buat sedap, bayar je. Dosa.
The performance begins with a swaying movement of the pohon beringin, or tree of life. Some scholars believe that it is symbolic of the child from Father Sky and Mother Earth. The Dalang Muda does the opening act. Then Pak Dolah takes the helm. His hands consecrate the space. The first 2 nights consist of non-ritual performances. The story is about the trials and tribulations of Seri Rama's 2 sons, Kusi and Serawi.
Orang lain tak bunuhmu, aku 2 beranak ni lah bunuh aku.
It begins when Seri Rama divorces Sita Dewi and banishes her. There are 400 puppets in the entire repertoire of the wayang, but usually only 60 puppets are used at a time. The nobler characters are more refined, carved with more detail. Colors are important. The hero, Sri Rama, is always green. Lakshmana, his brother, is pink. Hanuman, the monkey god, is white. Two other puppets crucial in the Wayang Kulit Siam are Pak Dogol and Wak Long. Both are jesters, free to comment on the story through comedy. Pak Dogol and Wak Long are anthropomorphic, able to be godlike and human. These two puppets are Pak Dola's most prized possessions. They are at least 200 years old. Pak Dola is famed for his ability to improvise, to include local events and vignettes, which make him more endearing to the village crowd.
Asli, dia ada Pak Dogo dengan Wak Long. Cerita Pak Dolah ni, ada Wak Long, Pak Dogo, Wak Ye, sama. Macam gambar ni lah. Gambar ni kalau siap, tubik dia dikira pun. Orang ketawa.
Dari istana Amor Sapa ke dalam waktu 7 ke
Pak Dola's ability to manipulate many puppets at a time has given him legendary status. He is able to impersonate a variety of voices, from animals to demigods and monsters.
Kata tidak belajar lah. Dia macam cerita rating lah. Bawa orang tak buat dia kata. Pak Dolah tak belajar dengan dia ya. Dengan orang lain Pak Dolah belajar. Selepas tu dik untuk cerita wayang kulit ni, siapa sekali bijak pun dia tidak boleh kata pelawak kat orang lain. Tidak ada orang tua dulu tinggal kitab untuk wayang kulit. Tak ada.
Preparations continue for the Berjamu ceremony the next day. The Balai Sita Dewi has already been built. This is the heavenly abode of the heroine, Sita Dewi.
Lari-lari ke hadapan Tuan Puteri.
On the second night, Sita Dewi has escaped to the home of her father, the wise Maharishi. She is pregnant. Sita Dewi gives birth to a son named Kusi. The wise Maharishi loves the child so much that he creates another child from wood, a splitting image of the firstborn. He names it Sarawi. The main conflicts rise from separation, banishment, transformation, heavenly pursuits, and the search for truth. The atmosphere builds and builds. Suddenly, Pak Dolah goes into a trance. As the conflict intensifies, Sri Rama gets angry with two trespassers, not knowing that they are his sons.
Orang lain tak bunuhmu, aku dua beranak ni lah bunuh aku.
When Pak Dolah was young, he received an attractive offer which could have redefined his path in life.
Dulu tuan sempak Haji Mubin, dia ambil Pak Dolah nak bawa pergi ke luar negara. Tapi ayah Pak Dolah ni terlalu sayang ke anak. Tak bagi ke tuan sempak bawa. Tuan sempak bagi duit RM500. Saga hati nak bawa awak pergi ke luar negeri. Akan datang awak jadi orang bertuah. Kata ayah. Saya tak suka. Enggak Pak Dolah sanggup juga nak pergi. Beri katok gambar-gambar, dia katok habis. Dia katok habis. Ayo. Dia tidak suka pergi. Kalau pergi juga, saya tidak mengaku awak ni anak saya. Macam mana? Tak pergi. Tak pergi tu tukang seruna Pak Dolah kan. Dia ambil Pak Mejah tu bagi ke saya. Kalau orang kenal yang Pak Dolah dulu, mungkin Pak Dolah dulu naik. Tapi dia Pak Dolah tak sapa kena. Itu Pak Dolah tidak Takut kau. Pasal dulu Pak Dolah menolak.
Nak cari kain kuning. Ubah.
Nah, kain kuning apa ada tak? Kain kuning. Kain kuning je nak. Kain kuning.
Itu memang ada seluruh kain kuning. Dia pilih lagi. Bukan lain. Kayu.
Kayu lah ni.
Boleh lah lagi. Ya.
The third day is busy with preparations. Final touches are made to the palace of Sita Dewi, which has 40 legs. The bamboo flagpoles are called Chandi Sarirama and have to be attractively adorned with coconut fronds and flowers. A chicken is sacrificed. Its blood will attract spirits to the ritual. Figurines are made of rice flour and water to represent the different worlds or different levels of consciousness. A downpour threatens to dampen the spirit of all involved. The villagers stay away from the rain. It does not matter, as tonight the primary audience is an invisible one, a spirit audience. Pak Dolah is in good form. It is important that a dalang is allowed to perform the berjamu. The time has come for him to appease the spirits that have given him his power for over 50 years. Tonight will be a test of his faith and his endurance. Earlier, Sarirama had ordered the death of his wife, but he now regrets his decision. Laksamana, his brother, reveals that he could not bring himself to kill her. Rama pursues Sita in an attempt to rekindle their love. Thus begins a chase that transcends worlds. Transformation ensues in the form of beasts, birds, fish, as this heavenly chase gains more and more momentum. Rama makes efforts to organize a conciliatory ritual to win his wife back. At this point, the two stories parallel each other. Both Sarirama and Pak Dolah are performing the berjamu for separate reasons, but with the same intent, that of appeasing the shadow spirits. This becomes the premise of the berjamu ceremony. Evil spirits are also invited to the feast. The most malefic one invoked is the ogre, Sang Kaki Bentara Kala. The Pangong has now become the netherworld, where humans and shadow spirits converge in a mystical battle of good and evil. At dawn, the screen or kale is rolled up. This is a symbolic extension of the ritual and performance area. This is the moment of truth for any dalang. Now, Pak Dolah has to prove his worth in the spirit world. He takes on the persona of Wat Long and goes forth to invite gods, spirits and demons to the feast. He goes into a deep trance while taking on the identity of the puppet. As the trance is intense, an assistant restrains him from behind. The feast is literal as he plunges into the balai again and again. It serves to satisfy the tacit demands of the spirits by providing them with food offerings. He has to be restrained as they continue in their invisible fill. A Malay shaman is present who makes sure that Pak Dolah comes out of his trance. As this state is very hypnotic, members of the audience are also very vulnerable. Suddenly, an old man in the audience goes into a trance. He is encouraged to release his emotions. Once the spirits have eaten their fill, the offerings are taken away. The spirits are released back into the ether. Pak Dola has performed and fated his spirit guardians. By choosing to live in Kelantan, he has remained sincere to his origins. For the sake of his integrity as a dalang, he has chosen to live amongst the unbelievers.
Kalau wayang kulit tak dibenarkan, Pak Dola tak ada harapan. Ada barang pun bersia-sia. Dapat main pun main, tak dapat main pun sebab Pak Dola dah tua dah. Tapi kalau habis riwayat hidup Pak Dola tak ada ganti.
If only there was a brighter future for Pak Dola. With his failing health and performance restrictions, one can only hope. Hope for a future when the shadow spirits will once again rise and do battle in the sacred realm between the earth and the sky.